Um, so basically I've never done a video like this where like I'm just talking at the camera, but I've been like inspired by like some small creators on YouTube and like again like it says in my description like for my channel, like I don't do this for views or anything. Like I mean like if people happen to watch that's fine. But like it's more so like I want to like capture like moments in my life with my husband and like I want to capture like just things in the moment, you know what I mean? And just like as they happen. And so, you know, like years from now, like I can look back and remember stuff. But anyway, so I was just thinking I'm going to work later today and like I'm just home alone because my husband's at work and I was just thinking about the first time I ever saw snow when I was a kid. So basically I grew up in a place where it doesn't snow. Like I grew up in a very tropical place. Like literally, like there's palm trees everywhere. Like it does not snow like where I grew up at all. And um, there are like some very rare occasions where like it will snow, but it's so rare. Like I'm talking like so rare that like it happens like every like 10 to like 15 years like it'll snow. But anyway, I'm sorry. Like I'm so awful at talking to the camera. Like this is why I want to practice doing stuff like this. Because I want to get better at speaking. But anyway, so this must have been December of 2002. I was very young. I was in like first or second grade. I don't remember honestly. Like if I did the math I would know, but like I just don't feel like doing that right now. So I was just in early elementary school and like, you know, snow was always something that we saw on TV like as children and we're like, "Oh, that's so cool. Like I wish we could experience snow." And like and it never it would never snow here. Like we would have like green Christmases all the time. But yeah, so like I remember it was Christmas Eve and we were at my grandma's house. Like I come from a Hispanic family and so you know like all of our cousins and tios and tias were there and like Christmas Eve that's how we always spent it at my grandma's and it started like frosting. It was very cold and I remember it was like sleeting, I think, and like so like ice was starting to collect on the cars and we're like, "Oh my god, like it's snowing." We didn't know like what snow was really like. It was really I'm sure it was just sleet like happening. But we were really excited about that cuz like we had never seen like anything fall from the sky other than rain and occasional hail. Like we'd never seen anything like that with our own eyes before. And like so you know, like we did like the gift opening and everything and like you know, we ate tamales and um I remember Christmas morning. So my childhood bedroom had these like large curtains over the windows that were like very hard to move. And so like I never looked out the window like in my bedroom. So like Christmas morning I had no idea. And I remember going over to the Christmas tree and like you know me and my siblings would always like wake up before my mom and dad like cuz we were so excited to open presents. And like I remember going over to the tree but then realizing it was very white outside and like I looked out the window and I just saw like everything coated in like a blanket of snow, like everything, and just like genuine like shock, like just like being like, oh my god, it snowed outside. Like it's such a big deal to me, like because you know, like I said, like this was something we only ever saw on TV. Like I never experienced snow like at all, like in my whole life, and you know I was so excited, and like me and my siblings were really excited, and my parents got up from all the commotion and we were so excited that we like didn't even care about the presents that were under the tree like and we were like young children too and you know Christmas morning is like the most exciting morning of like of life like you know and we just ignored the I remember we all like went outside like in our pajamas like we were just ready to go touch and play in that snow and I remember my mom getting after us and she was like no like you have to put on your coat like you can't go out there like the way you are and so I remember like going to my room and throwing on my coat and like barely buttoning it up at all because I was so excited and then running outside And like we just like left the presents there in the living room. Like we were like as a family, we were just like out there like in the backyard, like playing, like making snow angels, like doing everything that we would see like kids on TV do with snow. Like, and we made like a snowman, and at the time we had this like German Shepherd, like mutt. He was a big dog. He was like this caramel brown dog named Rufus, and we had him like outside on like a he had like a little enclosure for himself there, because my grandpa had chickens, and so like we to be like like cautionary, like for context, I'm sorry, I'm like getting carried away. My grandpa lived like two houses down, and like he had like goats, and like he had an acre of land that was right next to our acre backyard, and so like we would always get in trouble with our dogs, like who were like constantly like killing their chickens. So that's why he was in an enclosement. But like we let him loose on that day, and I just remember like seeing him like frolicking in the snow and like being so happy. Like he was so excited, and I like we were like throwing snowballs, and it was just like the like one of the greatest days of like my childhood. And it was just so magical, and it was so magical that it happened on Christmas Day. It was like the greatest gift that like any of us could have got, like for like where I grew up, like everybody from where I'm from, like because that does not happen. That does not happen. It's so rare when it does. And like I'm so happy that I get to have like a childhood memory like that. And like now I live somewhere where like the odds of it snowing are a little higher, but it's still like not quite normal. It doesn't happen every single year. But like I have seen snow, a couple of more times ever since I moved away from like where I grew up. But yeah, it was just like this cool phenomenon like in the community. And like I remember going to school like after that winter break, and like that's all everybody could ever talk about. And like I remember like going to like visit like relatives and everything, like as like the months went by. And just like honestly for like the next couple of years that had gone by, it was just like like somebody would mention like, oh, do you remember when that one time, that one Christmas it snowed? And like everybody would bring out like their pictures, and like everybody would be like telling stories of like what they did like on like on Christmas Day when it snowed, because it was such a huge deal. It was such a huge deal. Like I come from like a small community, like in a very tropical place, and like like where I'm from, like nobody really leaves like the place where I'm from. So like none of us had like experienced snow. Like we were on the same boat together with this, and like it was just so amazing. And I don't know, I was just like thinking about that today, and like how magical that was. And I'm still very fond of snow, but like so like right now I live in Texas, and I I don't know, like there was a winter storm that happened in February of 2021, and it was just like this like ice apocalypse that happened where everything froze, and like there was like heavy snowfall, and like just totally like not normal. I mean, like snow is already not normal for like central to south Texas. Like it's more normal like for North Texas. It's a huge state. But yeah, like when it does snow in central Texas, and the very rare occasion it snows like in south Texas, it's like just like a blanket of snow. But like when this ice apocalypse happened, like it was like heavy, dense snow that like it just like it was very thick, it was very icy, it was very cold, like everything froze, like the state was in no state, I guess, of being able to deal with it. And like the stupid state is on its own electrical grid, like, and so we all just lost power. And like me and my husband in particular, like, well, we weren't married yet, he was my fiance at the time, we were just trapped in our apartment for like, oh, we were trapped for 3 days without like water or electricity. And then like we eventually went to go stay with like a coworker of mine who was like, like offering like, hey, if like is anybody, because like I would say about like 20% of like the city had power, and like everybody else just didn't. And it was like that for the whole state, really. Like maybe like 20% of the whole state had power and everybody else didn't. And like none of us were like equipped to really deal with this like storm. I'm sorry, I'm like I'm going really off topic, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be a perfect video. So, but I do want to wrap this up. I don't want to talk about this for too long. So yeah, that experience was pretty traumatizing. I'm not gonna get into like any more details about it really, because like, I feel like me personally, I've told the story many times. Like, it was like another experience where like it happened, and like we were all like, anytime someone mentions the ice apocalypse, we're all like, oh my god, like we're all sharing stories. But like, instead of like the good, like sharing stories and pictures, like from my childhood when it snowed where I grew up, they were like, bad memories that everybody would share with each other, like with the ice apocalypse in 2021. Like, it was very traumatizing, and it's kind of ruined snow for me, unfortunately, because anytime it does snow, I just get scared that we're gonna lose power and water, and like we're just gonna be stranded and God knows where for like a week and a half, like me and my husband experienced back then. But anyway, um, yeah, my husband and I are currently living in Central Texas. I hope we hope to move out of Texas, and the sites, like, the places we have in mind are up north in America. And so I hope to live in a place where the power will not go out, where when it does snow, when it does ice, and I hope to make a lot of good memories of snow again. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's January and it's like 70 degrees outside right now. So, I guess I'm just like wishing for a colder winter this year. The winters are pretty hot where I'm living right now. But yeah, I just wanted to share those memories, and I wanted to talk about them. Like, I want to record myself talking about memories that come to mind more often, because I know that like as I age, and it's like, this is like anybody, right? Like, as we age, we start to like forget things that happened in the past. Like, our we can only remember so much, you know what I mean? Like, and as you're making new memories in life, like you're kind of forgetting some stuff in the past. And I don't know, I just want to capture myself like recalling these memories. Although like the one with like when it snowed on Christmas Day, like it's probably definitely going to be one that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. But like, I guess it's the little details. But yeah, sorry, I keep getting messages on my phone. I keep getting distracted looking at them. Um yeah, I just wanted to talk to the camera and just talk about that. Well, that's all for today, folks. Bye.